Hey everybody, this is my third take. I don't know what happened to the last one. I think it only recorded the first 4 minutes, and I don't know how long I was talking, but I got to do this another take. Before I get ahead, please give me a thumbs up, a like, on the subscribe. I appreciate it. So, all right. So, welcome to Winding Down Chronicles. This is March expense update. I've been tracking my expenditure my whole life, but at least I've been reporting on them like this for the last 3 months since I went into early retirement. I'm not going to lie though, this past month was, it feels like it was very scary and to walk through. March was a planned expensive month, similar to January and February, but a few of these expenses were not fully planned, and such as some repairs. We had 2 trips to Bangkok for my wife's tooth replacement, and we stocked up on some pharmaceuticals and vitamins since we won't be back to Bangkok, hopefully, for a while. And we handled a bunch of the normal life expenses that you'll see. I'll talk through here later. So most of this was not a surprise, but boy, let me tell you, it was jarring. When you compare it to the monthly average I'm trying to keep, the target is ideally around $3,500 per month. Ideally, it would be about $3,200, and the total amount of the one-off expenses were a normal month's expenses, just in and of themselves. So at the same time, the stock market has been, falling and free falling, and my portfolio ended up down 13 to 14% since year to date. So that really was hard to watch. And fuel prices in Laos are more than double now, just within a few weeks since the fuel shortage and the crisis in the Middle East. The U.S. coughs and Laos gets a cold. Laos gets a burning fever, let me tell you. And then inflation, as a result of the fuel prices, inflation is at over 9% in Laos. So this is the first time in this very short retirement experience I'm feeling more scared than excited, because the work prospects just are not out there, and I've got to make what I have last us for 30 years. We're not retiring on $1 million. I have a modest budget that I got to make work. And I'm not sure, it's not looking really good. Still early. And I'll say it, walking through this first time makes me nervous. Hopefully this won't be a train wreck in slow motion. But this is exactly why I'm documenting this journey, because real life isn't smooth at averages. It's spikes and surprises, and some months are worse than others. So let's walk through what actually happened in March. But just a quick overview, if this is the first time you're watching me, I lost my job last year, and so I had to make some major shifts in how I'm viewing our finances, because I had to do a psychological shift to 180 because I don't have any more income coming in this year. And so over time, thank God with technology, I developed my own little system for tracking my personal expenses. I use Quicken and I use Excel. I use Quicken as the main database. It manages all my different accounts because I'm working in multiple currencies. I'm working in US dollar, Thai baht, and Lao Kip. Because Quicken cannot consolidate, that means put all the information expenditure into one currency. I have to do it myself, so I have to export all of the data in the different currencies into an Excel spreadsheet and then consolidate to what I'm going to be showing you now. So all the expenses are consolidated in the US dollar. And then I also have this, so you can see I have this chart of accounts, which are my budget lines. So I have my categories of my budget lines, and then individual, more detailed budget lines. I have these color-coded on an Excel spreadsheet by month, and you can see it just helps me. It's a better visual on and to see the different expenses and their details. So in total income this month was $47. It was just interest earned on my different various accounts. No big deal. This is one of the hard things to watch. 3 months, no income at all. Anyway, so moving on to auto and transportation. So in March we had to, we're topping up our vehicle, $39. We put into the vehicle we just purchased in January. And again, this is half. We're getting half the amount for twice the price. Diesel is at over $7-8 a gallon now, I believe it is. I didn't do a calculation there, but $39 to top up our car with 30 liters of fuel. So my motorcycle was, I had to top up the fuel, $13. Again, if you compare it to the last month, I paid $9 for about 8 liters of fuel, and this $13 was only for 4 liters of fuel. So more than double the cost. You look from month to month how things are changing. So the motorcycle is my main transportation, and fortunately that bike keeps running, and I hope it continues to. So the subscription is I subscribe to the Google Premium. Moving on to entertainment and movies, and this is $5. This is our Netflix subscription. I use my Thai credit card, so that's what keeps the cost down. I think you're paying a lot more in the U.S. How much are you paying in the U.S. per month? And this is ad-free. Coffee and tea, this is its own budget line. I budgeted for $60 a month for the year. And I did a video a couple weeks ago on the cost of living in Laos and some of the expenses at a local supermarket that we get to, things that normally we would buy. And I discovered that the coffee I buy my coffee at a local cafe in town, and absolutely hands down the best coffee I've had anywhere on the planet. But I found out that I'm paying 3 times more for that coffee than if I bought another local brand in the store. Granted, it's more fresh, but I'm going to have to do some test tasting. I already started to see if that's even worth it. I love the coffee, but I'm not married to it. And if it means I'm going to cut my cost in half, I will do that. I will divorce that coffee and go with a cheaper coffee if I can still get a good cup of coffee. So groceries. So I budgeted for $1,500 a month for groceries. So just that there's 3 adults in the house and a baby. And I really would like to see this come down to $1,200 a month. So the way I budget here is I budget for $1,500 a month, but that includes the specialty foods and restaurant. So it was just one big budget line. But I track it by these categories. So I can see what I need to cut. Specialty foods are usually my specific foods, like meats from Australia, maybe some yogurt, things that are specific to me that I'm pretty much the only one eating. I put that here. And then restaurants also, I have that as a subcategory of groceries. So the total for this year, this month was $1,272. The total of these 3. As I'm monitoring and going forward, I can see where I might need to cut down. And we already did. I think last month, let me see what my last month, $257 in specialty foods. Because I bought more lamb last month. This last month, I only bought one time I bought lamb. So when I'm managing this on a detail and a granular level like this, you get really familiar with what you're spending money on, and you know what you can cut. So I'm glad that this is cut. This is down from the previous month, but we were also in Bangkok, and the food costs for those 2 weekends were very high. So we didn't save anything for food. You'll see later. So moving forward, charity, we give to our church, and like anything that might come up, I would like to get this up to $100 a month at least. Moving on to supplements, so I bought a stock of some protein, some vitamins in Bangkok when we were there, just because they were better quality, and $313. This will, for a couple months worth of inventory there. Moving on to house-related expenses. So electricity, this is something you're going to see. It's almost double from the previous month. Last month was $34, and this month was $59. It's getting freaking hot, let me tell you. And March is notorious. It's one of the hottest months of the year. But we don't use our aircon except that really at night and later in the evening. During the day, we hardly have the aircon on during the day unless it's excruciating hot. But we'll leave the doors and stuff open with the fans on. So I'll sit here and I'll be pretty moist and warm, and I'm used to it. This is something we're going to watch. You know, I budgeted for $100 a month total average, but with the cost of fuel going up, this could actually double from here, maybe even more. And we're going to be using our aircon more often. Furnishing. So I did I was impulsive in Bangkok. I only wanted 1 or 2 pillows, and I ended up buying a few more pillows than I really needed. It was an impulsive buy. It was stupid. But we've got enough pillows for a while now. I also had to lug them back, which was a joke on the train because they weren't compressed. Anyway, moving on. Supplies. So this is cleaning supplies. $47 compared to the previous month, $120. So I think this goes up and down a little bit as they use the stock. That's not a consistent thing. Internet. Our internet now for the house is $12 a month, and then paying for Da's internet on her phone in Bangkok. So $23 for internet, $27 for the kitchen. This is propane gas that we cook with. That's consistent. Mobile phone, this is our Laos phone numbers, and I have a US number that I top up every month. I think it's about $5 every month I pay for that service. Paid help. This is where you're going to see impact of the U.S. dollar conversion. So this pays for our sister-in-law who lives with us with the baby. She manages the whole house for 7,000 baht a month, which is roughly $220. Last month you could see the $7,000 was $209. So it's up because of the exchange rate, which is a lot, $10 difference just from $200, so on 7,000 baht. So imagine larger numbers. So this really had an impact on us. It's going to be one of those costs we're at the very bottom of the pile because she's invaluable, she's irreplaceable. She gives us a lot of flexibility and for God and I to move around. She takes care of the house beautifully, and it's perfect for us. So this is something that we don't want. We will cut last. And if she would go get a job, she'd be getting paid half that for 10 times worse situation. She gets her food paid for, she gets housing, and she gets to be with her baby and stay with us, which is a lot of win-win there. Repairs in the house, this was unexpected. The air cons weren't working very well since we started using them more. And so I was afraid I was going to need to replace one of them. So we ended up getting them cleaned, and that solved the problem. I'm really happy about that. That beats buying a new one. So $94 on all the aircon units. So we're pretty good for the hot season. And hopefully it remains that way because some of these units are pretty old. It's really weird. Never heard of this before. If we paid a year in advance, they give us 2 months free. I'll take it. It's not much money, but if it saves us something, we'll see if that holds true, and we'll see if I actually don't have to pay anything for the rest of the year by paying in advance. I'm not sure how they track that, but anyway, water. So this is one of the big expenses that's going to potentially go up. You can see our city water from the previous month is $2. We haven't had water in weeks, and the water's coming in drips. So we had to import water to the house to fill up our 3,000 liters of water. It cost us 1,000 baht, or about $30. That's just for 1 week. If we have to do this multiple times a month, my water bill is going to go. Whew. So I really need to watch this. This affects everything. Washing dishes cleaning the house, bathing. We're going to have to ration. We already have some containers around the house. The sister-in-law fills up when the water does come, but it comes in a trickle. This has been going on for months, and people are really getting pissed off about it because it doesn't make any sense. And you can't say anything or you get in trouble. Anyway, so we have to monitor that. Watch my video on the water issue. So dentist, this was the big expense. Da had her replacement tooth installed. I had to pay the balance of it. She had a tooth cleaning, and I had a teeth cleaning while I was there. So we're good for another 6 months at least. So that was $715. This will come off at the end of the running average. Medical pharmaceuticals. So I stocked up with some pharmaceuticals for 4 to 6 months, and I also had a medical scare a couple weeks ago when Dad wasn't here. I was woken up at night, and I was scared. Something was happening in my body, and I didn't know what was happening. And I went to the doctor. I wanted to see what the problem was, and he said it shouldn't be a major issue. It should pass. So I will. So that doctor visit is in there. It was only $25, and it gave me some little bit of medicine. Only $25 to see a French doctor at the French clinic. Moving on. So the medical pharmaceuticals. So she's a pharmaceutical freak. I don't understand it. She travels with a bag of pharmaceuticals. Sometimes they've been handy, but geez, she stocks up constantly. Her mom owns a pharmacy. I don't know if it has anything to do with that, but she also had some stomach pains where she went to the clinic for some injections. So she was $540 for the month. I hope this comes down, man. $4 personal stuff. She went to Bangkok. She had her hair done a couple times, pedicure, manicure, all of her girly stuff, and $476. This is going to have to come down. There's just no way we can sustain this. My haircut, $6. Spa and massage. So she gets a massage from a blind woman locally here, a couple times a month, really cheap. And then her and I got a massage or two in Bangkok when we were there. Really needed it. So, and this also includes my pedicure, manicure in Bangkok. Pet and food supplies, we've got 7 stinking cats and 2 dogs. So this is actually pretty low. I'm surprised. So this might actually go up next month in April, $73. Accessories, so we needed some electronic accessories. I need to replace my phone case and get a new cover and a new charger and a new portable power pack. And of course, needed to change her case. A couple electronics, $261. That's included in the total. Clothing, I think she got some socks or something, not sure. And then this is the travel. So in February, we already paid for the one train ride for tickets for both of us to Bangkok, plus a couple nights in Bangkok on hotel. And then in March, I paid for her train ticket with March money. And so that was $92. And then all the fees for crossing the border, the tuk-tuk and the bus and the taxi and the taxi to get to the hotel. Our food for the 2 weekends right there, that was expensive, $335 eating at restaurants. We ate well, good food, but it added up. A hotel, $161. I had to pay for 3 nights for her to stay in Bangkok. And then a car and taxi in Bangkok, $148. It's not cheap there. So the grand total is $5,848 for the month. And then if you subtract out the one-offs, $715 for the dentist, $1,257 for the pharmaceuticals, $736 for the Bangkok travel, and $50 for the paying advance for the garbage. We are deducting $2,758 for a monthly running average expense of $3,990. I'm pretty happy about that. Because it's below $3,500. Now, so far the running monthly average for the 3 months is $3,250, which is excellent. But total monthly average, if you include all of the one-off expenses since January, the running total is $6,809. That's where it sucks. So this has to come down, and I'm hoping over the next couple months it's got to come down. I mean, if this doesn't come down, I'm going to have to go get another job. There's no other way this will last. Let's see. So that's March. Big month. Some of it planned, all of it daunting. You know, this is one of those moments where the theory of early retirement meets the emotional reality of it. And seeing high expenses in the month at the same time your portfolio is down is really uncomfortable, you know. But zooming out, I mean, these were planned one-offs, and we don't expect Bangkok trips every month. So the expectation is that the next few months the trend will come lower, assuming life behaves itself, which I hope it does. My goal for the year is to keep our average spending under $3,500 a month, and the key word is average. So some months will be a lot more, some months will be less. Just so happens these first 3 months were a lot more. And, you know, and that's what really matters is the long-term trend. So yeah, I'm nervous. This is my first time going through this. You might be watching a train wreck in slow motion. I believe the numbers will look much better in the next couple months. And that's the whole point of this experiment. So I really appreciate you sticking through with me to the end. I hope you stick around. You come back for next month's April's update. Until the next time, take care, God bless, and take it slow.